dialed in to W Wooba Gooba.
Another friend gone, but not
Que cuando bailas en la arena.
Get the badge.
Show me the badge. There's the badge.
You get a badge.
You get a badge. We don't need those stinking badges.
Yeah. All right. I am going to bring out your first performers right now for the afternoon session. I just talking to these guys, and I'm seeing trombones. I'm seeing a double ukulele. I'm seeing a hand drum. They're looking at their bio, and they say, you are on for a wild ride with this music. So I'm expecting that, and what I am told, in fact, is this is the first time that they are performing live together, and they have been on Jamcation for the last week to make sure it's absolutely perfect for you. But the amazing part is they have 2 albums together. This all came out of the lockdown, out of COVID. Some good things have come from there. So please, we're getting a big sound packed with funk sauce and a twist of lemon. Please welcome to the stage, now Defunkt.
Yeah. Woo! So now it's time to unwind your minds and retread your heads and get ready for the funky funks of Now Defunkt. We're gonna take a little bit of ride down Funky Town.
Wow, how did we get here? A good friend of mine once said the shortest distance between 2 people is a story, and for that, we got to put things in reverse a little bit. Here we go. Hey, Nico.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, I'll tell you what's good. At least I hope it's good. This just showed up in the mail from Folklife.
Ooh, what's it say?
Let's find out. It says, congratulations. Now Defunkt has been selected to perform at the 52nd Annual Northwest Folklife Festival on May 26th.
Oh, congratulations. That's so groovy. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. But we've never performed in the same room before.
Yeah, we've got some work to do.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Well, we got to get everyone in the same room and we got to do some jamming.
Yeah. We need a vacation.
We need a jam and a vacation. We need a jamcation.
Yeah. Let's go to Birch Bay.
Let's get everyone up here. We'll get in a room. We'll do some deep hanging out. We'll fire up the pizza oven and we'll get all defunkty.
Rock on. Not defunct.
Ooh. We now have a goal, Jamcation, in order to play a live gig at Folklife. You know, all good stories have key ingredients, such as having a goal and having some type of resolution once that goal is achieved. But stories are also made up of people and places, and I think we got to unpack a little bit more the people and places of Now Defunkt. So let's keep going back.
What's going on, everybody? As you may know, my dad, Scott Macklin, is a bit of a sandwich connoisseur.
But that's not what we're here to talk about.
You see, during these trying quarantine times, my dad and his friends, James and Steve, have been working on a collaborative musical album, and it's pretty epic.
And Case has been mixing it in his studio.
Millions of seekers found their way home.
Yeah, okay, that was solid.
Right? We got hit in one time, but at least got the timing down.
Yeah, the time is good. All right, let's do another take.
All right.
And Nico has been taking care of all the visual arts, doing photography and filming their music videos.
With my friends, Anna and Amaris, we went to Joshua Tree and we filmed Death Valley Scotty, and it was a wonderful time.
So throughout the making of this album, we've gotten artists from all around the world to help collaborate and contribute tracks and instruments and parts to these songs.
The wind blows where it pleases it.
This album has become a bit of a combination of rock and folk and funk and just a mesh of grooviness.
All right.
Check it out. It just showed up. Now defunct. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. You ready? You ready?
Officially live. Welcome, one and all, ladies and gentlemen, Now Defunkters. This is the Now Defunkt release album party. Woo! Congrats, everybody. The name of the album: Skills Are Handy, Feel is Gold. I want to ask Steve where the name came from, and if you want to also mention the original name for the album, and then how it evolved over time.
Yeah, so we started out, we had a name called Family Tree, but we found out that Family Tree was already taken online. And I was looking it up, and Scott says, hey, is that already taken? I said, no, 1960, it's Now Defunkt. And Scott said, hey, what do you think about Now Defunkt? And that's kind of how we got the ball rolling from there. Before it was, when we first started getting into this, it was 2020, didn't see this one coming. But we ended up going with Skills Are Handy, Feel is Gold. That arose from the Master Blaster, James, who came up with the concept. We were talking about, I think we were talking about my guitar collection. We were talking about something, right?
Something like that, yeah.
And I said, hey, I wish my skills were as equaled out to how many guitars I had. And you said, yeah, but skills are handy, feel is gold. And I said, that's it.
Yeah, that kind of came out of thin air too, so it wasn't something that I've ever.
Like a lot of this stuff, like really the whole album kind of unfolded one piece at a time, one text at a time, one frame at a time, one rhythm track at a time, one bass line at a time. It's been amazing. Totally. It's been an amazing experience.
Part of the process when it comes to music, sometimes it's hard to know where to start, but it just takes one piece at a time.
Pronto, yes, one piece at a time. Inch by inch, step by step, beat by beat, and note by note. It's now time to move back forward.
Won't you take me to Funky Town? 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 Won't you take me to Funky Town?
Part of this Jamcation is we're learning how to perform and play these songs together. I know for myself, I'd spent so much time practicing and rehearsing my own parts. Because we're all remote. And so when we're in the room, having to shift gears, if you will, and learn how to not just listen to your own part that you've been rehearsing, but listen to the other parts, listen to the other band members, and listen to how they're performing so that you can stay locked in with the chemistry of it. That was a challenge.
an obstacle, but a learning curve that ultimately when you achieve that synchronicity, I remember, for example, me and Steve both playing guitar parts in Funky Town, and I'm looking at Steve as he's playing the lead riff, do 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 do, and I'm playing the background rhythm part, dun 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 dun. We're just locked in and we're smiling at each other as we're both playing guitars but locked in, listening to each other to stay locked in, but feeling the energy of the funk of the now defunct Funky Town. That was a great moment.
Folk isn't just one thing. At the same time, it's everything. And so, you know, when I think of now defunct, is it's like you have these elements of that heritage and that lineage and that traditional sense of family and playing together, but you also are like fully embracing the spontaneous and the what if and the what have you. You know, and I think that's a fundamental element of folk music. But that also we're making sure that younger generations are able to come in and express themselves, and not just for the younger generations, but for the older generations to hear it. I think of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, teach your children well, teach your parents well, those two verses back to back that are saying effectively, right, you know, parents learn from children and children learn from parents. It's a two-way street. And I want Folklife to have that kind of element to it so that, you know, maybe the festival inspires something new in somebody. Maybe it creates a spark or has something like that, but also so that people can come to a festival and look at a band like Now Defunkt and be able to see with their own eyes what it means to have a bit of the past and a bit of the future embedded into a show. And I think that's magical.
Because members of the Defunctory are all located in different locations, we created practice videos to help us get ready to play our songs together and jam out Folklife.
All right, Defunctors, one more week closer to Folklife. Here's the second song in our set list, Old Enough, by Case Macklin, a little practice version. Again, let me know if you want to do something different with these practice videos. It's a B, E6, B, A pattern throughout the song. So here's at least the base construct, and then whatever else you want to bring to layer into it, practice along. But now we have to do the wax on, wax off, sand to floor thing, get our parts down. At least I do. So here we go. And there we go. Old Enough. So yeah, get your practice in, bring what flavor you want to bring into it. We're 1 week closer. That's number 2, Old Enough.
For this next one, I want to invite my friends Nick and Kanji up to the stage. Please come up. Me and my buddy Nick here, we've been friends since 5th grade. We were in a hip-hop group back in high school called CoFlow, which disbanded, but we reunited to write this song right here called Old Enough. Kind of a song about, when I was younger, they used to be like, you gotta wait till you're older to try this, to try that, to try that. All I know is, it doesn't matter what age you are today, we're here at Folklife 2023, and we're all gonna have a good time today.
We're old enough to hit a Folklife little fun.
I see my boy Shane in the crowd. Shout out my guy Shane. That's the boy right there. Are we all sounded up? Sound good? Sounding good? Get 'em up, get 'em up, get 'em up now. All right, this next song's called Old Enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. Somewhere in the middle between trauma and nirvana, laughing about some memories we used to call drama. I miss the summer, before we had to grow up. I miss getting drunk and not getting hung over. For real though, with the light Vino. With the studio, they started asking about Credo. Hey yo, Credo made a movie about my life, I'd like to think he'd make it regal. I'ma bring out all my people, even grandma on the B-roll. What's up, Shirley? They used to tell me wait until you're old enough. Lately I've been thinking, am I old enough? Cause the party don't stop till we say so. But we only going up when you sober up. Looking for the love, you come my way. Looking for the blood, then it come my way. It wasn't for the squad, then I had no way, no way. Yeah. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring it down, you can bring it down, and we gon' live it up while we still can. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring it down, you can bring it down, we gon' live it up while we still can.
I've been laying low, thinking I can make it up. What's the word? We can make it all love. I just need a lot to get to start me up. I used to listen before I put on my socks in the club, but I know I need to get to my shit. See, I tried a whole lot, just need something to stick. Finally found my place, I'll be back in the gym. Tried to get away so tough that I forgot where I be running from. I might lose the game if I keep skipping when I'm bugging, bro. I have the most fun when I show love in my siblings. God is just a supplement, and no need for looking busy. So where I wanna be, overlooking our city.
Looking for the love, you come my way. Looking for the blood, then it come my way. It wasn't for the squad, then I had no way, no way. Yeah, yeah. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring me down, you can bring me down. We gon' live it up, while we still can. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring me down, you can bring me down. No, we gon' live it up, while we still can. While we still can. While we still can. While we still can. While we still can.
That was a faux pas. I'll go in the penalty box for 5 minutes.
That's my favorite COVID story is that, Anna got it and I'm like, oh my God, my daughter has COVID. I've got to do something. I've got to figure it out. And so every day I went and brought her lunch and I put it at the door and she, right under her patio, there was a place to go ahead and sit. So we'd have lunch through the glass. And she ended up telling me a few days later, like, hey, I've got this friend who lives upstairs and he's, wondering what the weirdo at the window is doing,
No,
I was like, yeah, that was me. Okay.
He thought I went out after I had it, I tested negative. I ended up knowing this guy that lives upstairs in his group of friends. And I went there, I'm like, I had COVID. And then everybody freaked out. I was like, it's okay. Everybody's roommate. And then he's like, yeah, like your roommate's like really old, dude. My roommate's like 35. I'm like, he's old, but he's not that old. He's like, yeah, there's like an old man that sits outside. I was like, no, that's my dad. I had COVID.
Yeah, so that made me feel just great. After that, I was like, right on. Okay,
Good dad.
I'm doing the duty here, doing the job, being a good dad, right? And you get called an old
You
man.
did the right
for it.
thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
So that's where that skill and that feel thing actually come together. But the feel of just that, what you were playing and how you were singing it has such a, it's good.
But that was like the cool part is like going back to like the larger point I made is like it felt like the song wasn't just mine anymore, and like it was like it was like everybody's song because like I just wrote it and sang it and like that was it. Like my dad like recorded and had the idea, like you did all the mixing and really made that song, and it became like everybody's song instead of it just like being owned by one person.
Being part of the Defunkt is an awesome experience. Not only do I get to spend time and make music and produce, or well, not really produce, but write songs, do all these things in a creative outlet that I just do for myself that like makes me feel better, that I never thought that I would do on this level at all. But like I get to spend time with my dad, and that's awesome. And I get to do it with my dad, and he gets to do it with his best friends. And like, it's such a creative collective. It's really cool to be a part of something where it's really open-ended. There's no like hierarchy of things, and it's really just like anybody's welcome, and it's a really great creative space to be a part of, and I'm really grateful that I do it.
This next song is called Heinz #1 because Heinz is the best ketchup in the world. Oh wait, we're not ready, hold on. I think actually Trader Joe's has better organic ketchup, so maybe that's a little bit of a lie.
As they say, we tune because we care. Tuning is a matter of curation, and curation is actually a Latin word, cure, which is a priestly function, to care for one's soul. So we're caring for the soul by the careful tuning.
Thank you for that enlightenment, Scott. Okay, everybody ready? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I wrote Heinz #1. I used to have this manager, and I had a really bad day at work, and I got really mad at him, and I came home and wrote it in 5 minutes. It was really quick, and it was just like an angry punk song that was supposed to just be quick and kind of short. And it was fun to write, and it was enjoyable, and it was like the first song that I had recorded at that level or done anything at that level, and it's really fun to sing it.
Hopefully it'll be gone in the morning.
Way to go, Anna.
You going back to electric?
Yes to becoming a creative collective. But this means holding space for the inevitable messiness and creatively responding to issues that arise. For instance, we found out that James and Aiden couldn't make it to the gig. We didn't have a drummer. We didn't have a bass player. What were we going to do? Well, for that story, we got to go back yet again.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up?
Sorry I'm late. What's up, Defunkt?
What's going on, Defunkt? How we doing tonight?
Well,
excellent.
For the most part, good mostly, except, we're about 30 days away from our show.
Yeah,
and
I'm so excited, man. Can't
and
wait.
I just found out, James called, James and Aiden aren't they can't make the show. If he's heartbroken about it, I'm heartbroken about it, but that means we don't have a drummer or a bass player.
What?
How are we going to get through without the Master Blaster, man?
No way. He's the engine.
Wow.
That's the engine of the
engine
of the ship.
Him and Nathan. How are we going to get? I mean, that's the backbone.
Well, that's why I'm.
Anything we can do to get him here?
You guys are pretty smart. I'm wondering if you got some ideas.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we could
bribe him. We kidnap him.
Yeah, kidnap him. I think we should kidnap him. If he can't make it, that's cool. We can always try to we could get an MPC 500 from the old school, try to go ahead and play to a click track. We could try to go ahead and Case, could you somehow, drum machine, or you could try to import the track somehow into a live setting from GarageBand?
Yeah, I mean, I do have all the mix sessions still from the songs. Could strip down like the drum and bass, like from the actual studio tracks, and put together like a backing track thing. We could play guitar and sing over.
Is that like
I got my DJ board still.
Is that gonna be like we're gonna be called out for like Manili Vanilli or something like that? Is that,
I don't know. I think we could do it that way. I don't know if we want to do it that way.
Grow my hair out.
I think we could. I think that's
big
doable.
night, man. It's a big night. I want I mean, we're gonna be on a big stage.
Folklife.
Yeah,
it's Folklife, man. We gotta represent, right?
So I have an idea.
Something else we gotta be able to do.
I have an idea.
Oh,
I want to run it past you, but I thought I'd get your thoughts first. I was at an open mic on Sunday, and I met Becky and Wendy. And here, I'll play you a little clip, and tell me what you think. This, let's see. Here we go.
I'll be kissing you. Got them on drum and bass.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean, they're grooving
right there. Yeah,
they were super groovy.
That's it, man. That's it. Definitely.
Talking about getting a couple rocking ladies to join the Defunkt.
Yep.
I'm all in, bro.
Okay, I'll let you know. I'm gonna reach out. Awesome. I'm gonna reach out and see if they will come along and join the Defunkt and gig with us. When we all get together up here, we'll have some time to bring everything together. But they're holding it down. Pretty good engine room.
Let me know. We can send them the songs and the charts and have some phone calls and try to go ahead and get into the groove, get into the pocket.
Sounds good.
Into the groove.
There it is.
Grooves in the heart. Yeah, I wasn't. It wasn't until about 15 to 20 minutes before the show that I actually started getting nervous. But all through the week, taking one step at a time, starting with just the four of us here and breaking down the songs, and then the second day when Wendy and Becky showed up, and they basically were the engine room. It made me realize that we could go ahead and do this, and we could get through the set list and do it well.
Well, first off, we want to welcome Becky and Wendy to the Defunkt, the now Defunkt. This is our first time jamming all together, and we are here at the Sun Retreats, getting ready for Folklife. And wow.
Our ace up the sleeve was Brian Macklin, Scott's brother. He was there for anything that we needed on stage. He played drums. He was an amazing presence to have, and to know him as long as I have was really, really cool.
Then we found out that Nico couldn't make it. She was going to be in Nepal. Now, luckily, her friend Kaylee stepped in to provide some super groovy vocals and trombone. Now that we have Becky, Wendy, Brian, and Kaylee on board the Defunctory, we set up shop and got busy learning how to play our songs together. Now it's time to move yet again on forward, back to the show.
Blasting files in the moment of action.
right now my army, hands up. I know karate, make a waves like a tsunami, hands up. You should have shot me. When I go down, live out these hands. I know karate, make a waves like a tsunami, hands up. You should have shot me, kamikaze when I hit the lobby. Shimigami should have rolled the brick of death. Nah, you cannot stop me. Never put me in that frame. Put me up in that frame. Put me up in that flame. Do more than entertain. More with all the pain. Been a pact of the slave trade. Identified by a code name. Unclaimed like loose change. Untamed like loose cage. Thrown up in a shark pit. Red dot, I'm a target. Been a product of the market. Got no option but to mosh pit, run fast and stay cautious. You will never catch me. I'm running to the sun. Going to the funds like a hit and run. And I'm number one. And I'm number one. And I'm never one to be played with.
So I also want to give a shout out to Huey the artist in Seattle. My friend Bryce, me and him go way back. We were best friends back kindergarten, first grade. Both our moms were on the PTA together for our elementary school, so we were hanging out all the time. So to be able to link back up all these years later to, first of all, we got to make a song that made the album, and now to get to perform this song at Folklife, yeah, that was another very special moment to do Run Down the Sun with Huey the artist, yeah. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to make it up to the rehearsal because he lives in Seattle. We were all the way up in Birch Bay, but I think he took a bus, a couple different buses through public transportation. It took him about 5 hours, but he made it all the way up to Birch Bay just to make it to the rehearsals, to jam with us. And then he was able to stay the night with us as we cooked and ate. And after we ate dinner, after we rehearsed all that night, Huey pulls me aside. He's like, "Case, check this out." I'm like, "What?" Pulls out a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which was our game back when we were in kindergarten, first grade growing up. That was like our favorite thing to do, was play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Never thought that my hate would cause a time for me to face. Run down the sun.
Ron, I was wondering if you wanted to take a second and read the liner notes that you wrote. I thought there was some really great stuff there.
If you ask him where he is going, he will most likely tell you that the wind blows where it pleases and that it is a holy wind that drives him. I left my map way back there, baby. I don't know where we are. You leave his company a little closer to being a saint. But Death Valley Scotty is not lost, nor is he alone. He has rather gathered around him a crew of dusty saints, now defunct as they are dubbed. A collaborative collective that does not know where it's going, but still knows where it is. Right here. Wherever anything or anyone is in danger of breaking, you can hear their synchronized heartbeat. And they will know when they have reached the end of their winding road, because it will open upon interminable vistas. Take me, big water, get me under, lift me up, and let it go.
Snaps for sure.
Thank you.
A lot of good stuff in there. You know, it's true. We don't know where we're going. And also, we don't know how exactly we got here. But we're still here. We're going to make it happen.
So we started working on a song over 2 years ago called Flurry Quo Garden, and it went through 5 or 6 different iterations. It started as a Pink Floyd song, and one day I ended up finding an acoustic pattern that really worked well for the song. Scott had come up with the lyrics, and Anna had added lyrics to it as well, and you know, the the effort that was put in between Anna and myself, my daughter, was unbelievable. You know, we found this church of song, this church of music within that song, and it transformed the way that I think about music and what is possible to be able to go ahead and create within the Defunctory.
Folklife 2023, we appreciate you sticking with us through this event. Are you guys doing good? Can I make some noise? If you guys are good, can you make some noise? I love it, I love it. A lot of beautiful people out here today. This next song is actually, it's a very special song, probably the most heartfelt song I think we've come up with together. This song was dedicated to a very special woman in all of our lives. Shirley Morrison. She was an agent of change, of rage, of peace and love and all the above. She's performed at Folklife many a year, many a time, along with the Raging Grannies. They've been holding it down, protesting and just running it in Seattle for years now. Shirley Morrison. From holding down the front lines at protests to infiltrating Wall Street corporate dinners and giving them the business, Shirley Morrison has done it all around the world. So one time someone asked Shirley Morrison, "Aren't you afraid of stirring up trouble in countries where you're not a citizen?" And to that she said, "No, I'm not afraid, because I am a citizen of the world." Shirley Morrison was a mother of many, a grandmother to many. Me and Amaya's own great-grandmother, the late, great Shirley Morrison. This song is called Flurry Quo Garden, and it is dedicated to her.
She could rise and rise like a sunset over the Flurry Quo Garden, over the Flurry Quo Garden, collecting monsters as the curtain closes. On this restless heart she wanders. Follow your heart, lean into your craft. Don't you wait on permission. Life is more than this first edition. The truth lies, we're just asleep. Tried to bury it, but the garden keeps. Justice knows when the garden shows. The garden grows when justice flows. The garden grows when justice flows. She can pick up an untuned guitar and make it stand. Love is walking off of me, picking up angels as she goes.
I was able to perform with my dad in Flurry Quo Garden, and every time we did it, we started practicing. We were always sitting down, and we found that it's just easier for us to go sit down and find that space. And it's very, like, it feels very intimate, if that makes any sense. It's very just like quiet, and it's a very peaceful song, and I feel like when I sing it, especially the end, like I just go to a place, and like that's always what good music do, is you go to a place, or good art in general. And I think that's really cool that my dad and I were able to find that space together and perform. And then also when we performed out on stage, we got everybody else singing it, and then it's like everybody got to go to that space, and that's, you know, what good art is supposed to do.
Gotta rage on. You gotta rage on and on and on.
Her past is like the sand runs through the cracks of her bronze-aged hands.
You gotta rage on and on and on.
She stands to understand your wise and winsome witness.
You gotta rage on and on and on.
She demands a mighty flood of justice to flow like a torrent of good.
You gotta rage on and on.
Parables never do what we expect.
rage on and on.
Surely you make the path by walking humbly, loving mercy, and acting justly.
You gotta rage on and on.
Walking humbly, loving mercy, and acting justly.
You gotta rage on and on.
Walking humbly, loving mercy, and acting justly.
You gotta rage on and on. You gotta rage on. You gotta rage on and on and on. You gotta rage on. You gotta rage on and on and on.
The process of making a now defunct song typically starts with someone in the band coming up with some skeleton, some idea. I got a lyric, I got a guitar riff, I got a little bit of an instrumental, I got 8 bars of a song, and they'll pitch that idea into our group chat, now defunct, and we have people living in Wenatchee, we got people living in California, I'm living in Texas, we got people living in Washington, we have a drummer we like who lives in France. All around the world, people that are part of Now Defunkt have contributed musical elements. So when an initial skeleton gets pitched, it'll bounce around all parts of the world as people continue to layer up their elements, and I'll end up back with me if I'm mixing the song. So I'm getting tracks from everywhere, bringing it together for mixing the final product. So the process with Now Defunkt has all been remote when it comes to the music creation side.
Now it's time to go back for a deeper cut explanation of the song Telling the Bees.
But this is the Bees mix right here. First of all, James just absolutely slaughtered the bass on this. It was like the grooviest bass ever. And so if I take all the processing off it, just grooves. So when we play the original bass, it just sounds like this by itself. But when we add in that copy bass, sounds like bees. Yeah, now it's like a bee bass. It's a bee bass. You know, if I'm thinking about it, the way the song's building up, if you hear in the story, at this point, the bees are starting to swarm. The bees are starting to come alive. And in my vision, it's kind of like there's kind of an anger in the bees at this point. They're kind of pumped up and they're ready to swarm. So we have this like epic buildup, this kind of tension, a lot of tension going on. You're not quite sure where it's going to go. And it all builds into this. To the gravesite to make their landing. Behind every mixed decision of this song, basically boiled down to, is this mixed decision going to make the song more B-E? And that's how we got to where we are now.
On the day of the funeral service, to that old country church they came. Swarm after swarm, the bees landed upon his grave to pray, and the ground ebbed and flowed like a lava-born riptide. But the Reverend said, "It's fantastical, have no fear, do not hide." He then recited the riddle of Samson, and he asked, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" And then the bees began to hum. Busy bee, busy bee, busy, busy, busy bee.
Out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something so sweet.
Busy bee, busy bee, busy, busy, busy bee.
Out of the eater, something
defunct experience. I don't think there's a simple answer to the now defunct experience. I mean, we call it the defunctory for a reason. You know, we're kind of redefining the music creation process in our own way. I think the defunct experience involves jamming. I think it involves deep hanging out, cooking, enjoying good food, learning songs together, writing songs together, and just creating together.
Okay, that part's cool.
You're gonna be, Scott, you're gonna also be holding down the rhythm too, right?
And then when it comes to the bridge part right before the chorus, if you're looking for the love, you can come my way. I was just playing chords on the ones, so. Looking for the love, you can come my way. Looking for the plug, you can come my way. Wasn't for the squad that I have no way, no way.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I'm capable of doing. It's just playing all the ones.
No, I think that's better. I think it's strong, right?
I'll just play the ones and you just funk it. Okay.
Jamcation. It's a word consisting of the verb jam, which means to play music together. It also means cultural jamming, to shift a perception through the collective skipping of rocks. And the word vacation, which is a noun, meaning a time for relaxation, restoration, or recreation. And in our case, it means the preparing and sharing of food, particularly pizza and paella.
I call this the dessert pizza.
Okay, let's look at that. Looks pretty nice.
And then we're going to add some of this. And to each slice, we're going to put a little bit.
You're supposed to be dolloping.
You're supposed to spread it around.
Okay, dolloping. Yes, that's correct.
Not yet.
Paella is all about layering the flavors and applying heat, turning down the heat and going high heat, and then putting the flavors in a staged process so you can actually, build your flavor profile. So we build a flavor profile with a roasted almond where you slightly toast them and almost burn them. And now we sear up these nice pepper. So we're continuing to work on the foundation of the flavor profile. And now that we've seared off the chicken, now we're gonna add stock just to boil it down a little bit. It's almost like deglazing the pan. You take the saffron and you just put it on top of the ice. And the cold of the ice is called blooming the saffron. It sort of opens up all those flavors. Now we pulled out the chicken and all that flavors in the bottom. And then to mark the flavor, you have to do it
in the sign of a...
Okay, we're gonna finally, and after we build up all the flavors, get the profile, but there's a certain aesthetic look of what you want to do with the paella. And as you can see with the roasted peppers, we made the wheel, the roda. The wheel in the sky keeps on turning, but in this case, it's the wheel in the pan keeps on burning. Right? There you go.
Jesus told the story of the mustard seed. Mustard seed, mustard seed. Jesus preached to turn the other cheek. Other cheek, other cheek. Jesus said that 5,000 he would feed. He would feed, he would feed. The apostles really needed espresso. Apostles don't put sugar in their coffee. Apostles don't put sugar in their coffee. Apostles don't put sugar in their coffee. You know why? Because Jesus flipped the tables. Jesus flipped the tables. Jesus flipped the tables. He was born in a stable. Why? Because Jesus is sweet. Jesus is sweet. Jesus is sweet. He's gonna wash your feet. Go get yourself an espresso.
When Amaya came in to sing Cult of Personality with us, it transformed the room. It transformed everybody who was a little bit nervous even during practice, just lit up, and the song came alive because of her presence.
One more song for you guys tonight. Again, thank you guys for coming out and rocking with us. I gotta give a shout out. He said he didn't want me to do it. It's my dad's birthday today, and I just gotta say happy birthday on stage. Man, when we started this band, it was during the pandemic, so we were shooting everything, recording everything remotely, sending each other our tracks and it all meshing together through the networks of the internet. And when we finally get together to jam on stage, something like this is just, I can't believe a better way to spend a birthday together. So, one more song. If you guys could give us the most energy you could possibly give us right now for this last one. We got our own Amaya on vocals. And if you recognize the lyrics for this one, feel free to sing along. It's a fun one.
During the few moments that we have left, we'd like to talk right down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Neon lights, Nobel Prize, when the mirror speaks, the reflection lies. You won't have to follow me, only you can set me free. And you gave me fortune, you gave me fame, you gave me power in your God's name. I'm every person you need to be. Whoa, I'm the cult of personality. I'm the cult of, 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 I'm the cult of personality.
Ask not what the children can do for us. Let's ask what we can do for the children. To all the teachers in the audience, give it up. We are now the Defunkt. Once again, we want to thank all of Folklife and all the people. We have some albums for sale over there. Help support, our college fund. Thanks once again. We're out.
My good friend Mark Gonzalez once asked me, have you ever really looked at your hands? Who do your hands remind you of? That was a real mic drop, life-changing question. Now, as I think about my hands, and I think about the defunctory, and I think about the children whose little hands used to fit in our hands, I think about the work we're trying to produce with our hands. I go back to that last weekend of February 2020, right before we were ushered into self-isolating lockdown due to the pandemic. We were out in Joshua Tree shooting a music video for our song Death Valley Scotty. And that evening, underneath the stars, we were making music and we got caught up in the constellation of the moment. And we felt this
deep, primordial sound box of the soul connection, a lingua sacra, a sacred music of meaning and connection. Now Defunkt hopes to serve as a generative mechanism to co-create this type of meaning and connection, where music making is seen not only as a stenography of self-centered ambition, but as a means to groove grooves and to shift souls and scenes.
How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Pronto, Jamcation. Yeah, it's kind of like making a paella, knowing when to turn up the heat and when to turn it down. Learning how to layer up the flavor in stages and always using tasty ingredients. And that's our story.
And here we go. And that's a paella as the analogy of how we think about our now defunctness. Now it's time to eat. Manja, manja, manja.
Mama's alright, my daddy's alright, but that's
One, two, three, four. Somewhere in the middle between trauma and nirvana, laughing about some memories we used to call drama. I miss the summer before we had to grow up. I miss getting drunk, not getting hungover. Cool though, candlelight and vino. In the studio, they started asking about Credo. They made a movie about my life, like they think we make it regal. I'ma bring out all my people, even grandma on the B-roll. They used to tell me wait until you're old enough. Lately I've been thinking, am I old enough? Cause the party don't stop till we say so. But you only growing up when you sober up. If you're looking for the love, you can come my way. Looking for the plug, you can come my way. If it wasn't for the squad, then I'd have no way, no way. Yeah, yeah. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can't bring me down, you can't bring me down. I like that. Set it up, but we still can. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can't bring me down, you can't bring me down. We gon' live it up while we still can.
I've been laying low, thinking I can make it up. What's the word? We can make it all love.
All love.
I just need a lot to get to stopping me up. I used to listen before I put on my socks in the club. But I know I need to get to my shit.
Real shit.
See, I tried a whole lot, just need something to stick. Finally found my place. I be back in the gym. Try to get away so tough that I forgot what I've been running from. My man needs a kick if I can sleep when I'm looking, bruh. I have the most fun. I show out to my siblings. God is just a supplement and no need for looking busy. So where you wanna be? With my brothers overlooking our city.
If you're looking for the love, you can come my way. Looking for the plug, you can come my way. If it wasn't for the squad, I'd have no way, no way. Yeah, yeah. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring me down, you can bring me down. But we gon' live it up while I still can. So if we going in, we going all in. Where you wanna be when the world ends. You can bring me down, you can bring me down. We gon' live it up while we still can. Still can. While we still can. While we still can. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Old enough.
I love that. Gigantic.